holodeck.
They established the holodeck for one.
And Data's trying to learn to whistle.
Pop Goes the Weasel. And they kind of, and Riker calls him Pinocchio. Because he's like, oh, do you think you're superior to humans? He's like, yeah, I totally am.
But I still wish I could be one.
Yeah, and he's like, all right, Pinocchio. And he goes, intriguing. And then Wesley shows up to fuck up everything again.
He falls in the loose rock and gets wet. It's interesting also that you can get off the holodeck and actually be soaked.
Yeah, how does that work?
I don't know. Rob, can you explain this for us?
Anyone? Someone?
Rob, it doesn't have to be you, but I figure you know.
Yeah.
Anybody listening.
Okay.
But they set up a dynamic where Riker doesn't really trust Data, but which pays off later in the episode.
Yeah.
Like you're going to be an interesting colleague, but I don't trust you.
Yeah.
You know.
Riker, Tasha Yar, Geordi, Data, and Troy, who was like a empath, telepath.
Yeah. And
she has history with Riker. Like they fucked for sure.
Yeah, they used to. Yeah, in fact, that they're still sad about the fact that
they had to stop. Like remember when we stopped fucking? How much of a bummer that was.
But they haven't started again yet. I guess there's just too much pain.
We got to figure this shit out first.
Well, she's been sitting in a modern art installation for the past 5 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Making eye contact with strangers.
So they explore the tunnels under Farpoint to figure out like what's going on.
Right. That looked like a cheap set, like an easy set to build.
Yeah. Ship shows up, and Picard thinks it might be the Ferengi because Garoppolo Zorn had brought them up before. He's like, "Oh, if Starfleet isn't interested in our technology, maybe the Ferengi is." And he's like, so Picard's like, is that the Ferengi? What the fuck is up? And he's like, no, I was just fucking with you guys. It was just a thought.
Right.
Which I thought it might have been the Ferengi. And because
because every time they want something, it shows up.
Like Riker's like, oh, I want an apple, but you don't have one. Oh, wait, shit, there's an apple right there. And Crush is like, I want gold fabric. Oh, you don't have it. Oh, wait, it's right there.
Right.
And so I thought, I was like, oh, maybe it was also kind of like a
misdirect.
Yeah, misdirect.
Right.
Which, I mean, if that's what they're doing, that's fucking dope.
Right.
Because once he said, it's just a thought, I'm like, holy shit, it is a Ferengi, and he thought them into existence. But it's not the Ferengi.
Just like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Exactly. But it turns out it's not the Ferengi, it's like this giant space jellyfish.
Mm-hmm.
And
I guess that's it in its armored form? Or is Q disguising it?
Well, no, I think it might be, that's how it travels.
That's its deep space travel.
Yeah. And so it starts attacking not Farpoint, but like
the city that they abandoned to build Farpoint.
Yeah.
Which is where Riker and company actually are.
Yeah, that's where they're that's where they're exploring. And
so there's a purple fight.
And it's attacking, and then it figures out oh, dude, this is an alien,
right.
And that thing is Farpoint is alive. That's its mate. Figures out that's its mate. That's
right.
Zorn.
It's actually really beautiful.
Yeah, because Zorn is being tortured, by the way,
by this thing. Yeah,
and Troy's there's pain down there and anger up there, and so Picard figures it out oh, you captured this, enslaved it pretty much.
They feed on energy, which the planet has in abundance, but they only fed it enough to survive, not to actually get well and leave.
Yeah, and
they've been holding it hostage I don't know, like a woman you keep in the basement.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
Well, did that movie, The Woman, it's on Netflix Instant?
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's pretty creepy.
Oh, maybe that's your thing.
No, it's not my thing.
Isn't it?
I'm not Seth MacFarlane.
But yeah, so Homeboy, I guess, finds his girlfriend.
Right.
And it's or maybe she finds her boyfriend.
Whatever. We don't know. All we know is that they're in love.
But yeah, and so starts shooting them, and Picard's get everyone out of Farpoint.
Right.
Tell everyone to evacuate.
And Q's standing here the whole time.
Yeah, because he's your time is up. Humans are shit. Just like Slipknot said, humans equal shit. You guys are fucked.
Right.
And Picard's shut the fuck up. I gotta deal with this.
Right.
And so he's give Farpoint some juice.
Right.
Give it a jump. And you see it raise up and bubble over and and meet with its mate, and they interlock in a little jellyfish.
And it's actually a pretty cool special
effect. It's very
effect.
fucking dope. The whole thing, I was it felt very Trek.
Yes.
In that
there's a little twist.
Yeah, there's a little twist, and it was about compassion and doing the right thing.
And not just shooting your way out of something.
Exactly, yeah, like figuring it out, which Picard did.
And Q's like, I made this too easy.
He's like, oh.
I'll be back.
Yeah, I'll be back. Like, you won this round, but you won this battle, but the war will be mine.
Right.
Bum, ba, 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 ba.
Pretty much.
I dug it.
I really enjoyed it. And
it got mixed reviews when it came out.
Did it? Well, there are elements that are better than others. I think as a pilot, it's a little disjointed. Like, it takes a long time to get where it's going. I feel like they could have told the story in 1 hour. But they took their time to introduce the characters and sort of...
It's like a movie.
But also, I guess, knowing where it's headed to some degree, because, I've seen the movies and everything. Like, it was really cool to actually go back. I don't think I've ever seen the pilot before. Like, I've seen some of the early episodes, but I've never seen this. And it's not perfect, but it's got a great ending, and they do a really nice job.
It's got a great ass.
Oh, my God. It's got the Deanna Troi of endings.
Yeah. But
she's very pretty.
I liked it a lot.
I did too. And I'm excited to see more. I'm excited to if this is all we get for a couple years, I can live with this. But like, I'm really excited to see how much better it can get. Too.
Yeah, I mean, like if it's like this, like I enjoyed this a lot. Like, I mean,
it's like season 1 of the Doctor Who reboot. The Christopher Eccleston year. You're like. And people are like, "Oh no, wait till you get to season 2," and I'm like, "But I really liked season 1.
It was pretty good." I mean, this.
I was a little bummed, actually, whenever they got to the end of that first season and he's gone. I'm like, what? But then I watched the first David Tennant and I was like, okay.
Okay, yeah, for sure, yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah, Encounter Farpoint. Next week, we'll be discussing The Naked Now, Code of Honor, and The Last Outpost. We'll do about 3 episodes.
Okay.
Not too bad. So, yeah.
You can like us on Facebook.
Like us on Facebook.
You can leave us reviews on iTunes. I hear 5 stars is good.
5 stars, if you're feeling...
Generous?
If you're feeling
or
generous.
If you're feeling honest.
If you're feeling honest, give us 5 stars.
Right.
Facebook.com//Star Trek Into Dorkness. I don't know if we'll change the name. We might just keep everything...
It might be easier just to keep everything.
But tell your friends. Be like, hey, do you like Star Trek? And they're like, kind of. Oh, this podcast is kind of about Star Trek.
It's perfect. It's a match. It's 5 stars.
Yeah.
But 5 stars for the casual Trek.
And be like, hey, do you like M. Night Shyamalan? I'm like, no, not really. Like, neither do these guys anymore.
Did you used to? Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, I thought like Sixth Sense was dope. Like, oh, then these guys fucking talk about it for like half an hour.
Right. If you were also a hater of misogyny, this would also be a good show.
Do you hate how like women are like lambasted and treated unfairly? Like, this podcast is for you. It's called Into Dorkness. Have you heard of it?
They are threatening to change the name to Into Meat Curtains, but
but that's because I don't know why.
It has something to do with the situation and the post-apocalyptic.
Oh, it's because we're going to become a porn podcast,
right? Which might be problematic for our feminist goals. I don't know. We can have that discussion another week.
We absolutely can. Okay, so join us next week. We'll be back with those with 3 episodes of Star Trek. We'll be back. We'll be talking about After Earth, like. Yeah, we'll be doing that.
It's gonna happen.
That's gonna be a thing, and some more God or Lover. Send us some feedback. Star Trek Into Dorkness @gmail.com. That's all.
And if you've got any suggestions, anything you'd like us to talk about, we're also open to that.
Yeah, for sure.
We are open to suggestions.
Yeah, like I still haven't seen Firefly. People are like,
we should watch Firefly.
When are you going to watch Firefly?
Maybe a break between Star Trek seasons we could do it. Because, I mean, it's only 13 episodes in a movie. So 13 episodes. They didn't get their 6 seasons in a movie.
Yeah, I guess not.
Dan Harmon's back on Community.
That's awesome news.
Yes.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for the first episode of Into Dorkness. Volume 1, Episode 1. I guess Volume 2.
Volume 2.
Yeah.
We changed the title, but it's still a Volume 2 of a...
Yeah. So, yeah.
By comic book logic? Yeah. I don't know. Would it be a Volume 1 again? By comic book logic, it would be another Volume 1. Because if you change the title, it's Volume 1 of something new. Based on my understanding, yes.
Well, maybe.
I think we should just call it Volume 2, though.
Volume 2, Episode 1. Thanks so much. Bye, guys.
Bye. LLAP.
KO.
This has been an Into Dorkness production.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.